Hey folks, this is Bad Brad Berkwood, the host of the Bad Brad Berkwood Show, and this is another RSR video email bag. And as we always do for the most part, let's start out like this. We still have them, medium to extra large. I got to keep plugging them because my producer says, you got to pay the bills. I don't know how we're paying the bills with these shirts, but okay. She says I have to do this. On the front, ringsidereport.com, the heart of boxing. And on the back, there's good-looking stud. Forget about it. The Bad Brad Berkwood Show. We have a medium, extra large, $19.95, postage and handling, blah, 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 blah. All right, folks, let's get this started. Sit in my favorite chair, pull my pant legs up. That's not because the bullshit's getting high. All right, first of all, got another plug. My producer, Debbie, said I got to put out there. Hey, I'm the guy in front of the camera. I can't remember everything. So that's what we have a producer for on the RSR video email bag. And what I'm supposed to tell you guys is this. You need to subscribe to the RSR YouTube channel. Forget about it. So you can keep up with all of our videos because we're doing 2-3 a day. We're getting ready to do the Bad Brad Berkwood Show, which is separate from the RSR video show. So make sure you tune in. Make sure you subscribe to the Ringside Report YouTube channel. All right, I got that plug out. Before I start, I got to take a swig of my Wild Cherry H2O, Fruit2O, H2O, G2O. I don't know. It's somebody's O. It's delicious. Ah, wonderful. You guys have yet to send me a year's supply. Forget about it. All right, folks. We're going to start out with your questions, and the first one right out the gate is giving me the business. Forget about it. But I told you, we never cherry pick. Every question that gets sent in gets read as is and gets answered. Whether you attack me, whether you don't, whether it's positive, whether it's negative, they all get answered. I can't say that for everybody else's video email bags if they're even doing them. Forget about it. First question. Bad Brad, you claim to be a guy who will not cherry pick questions. That's what I just said, pal. And answer everything sent in. I just said that too. Forget about it. Let's put that to the test with my question. I researched you on Google and admit there's a lots of information on you to include an acting website. Now the tough part. Are you really an actor? Or are you like so many that can be whatever they want to be on the internet? I look forward to your answer to see if you really are the straight shooter that you and so many that view your video show say you are with comments on Facebook. Signed, Bill R., Hollywood, California. Hey, Hollywood, is this a test? Is this a screen test? Well, first of all, Bill R., I got to tell you something. I totally agree with you, pal. You can be whatever you want to be on the internet. I found out many times over many different years that people are so full of shit, yes, I said it, and pretend to be something that they are not. And I got to give credit, because I always do, my graphics guy, my paisan for over a decade, Mel Walker, a.k.a. GrimX, who does all the wonderful graphics, the amazing GIF images and everything on Ringside Report and Newsbreaker.com, said the same thing to me years ago. And he said it just like this. You can be whatever you want to be on the internet. That's true. But my philosophy is I can't stand people that embellish. And there's so many people in life that do that. And over the most simplistic things that they don't need to embellish. And lately it seems to be coming out of the woodwork. Debbie's behind the camera shaking her head. We're running into people left and right that love to embellish. That's never been me. I just don't believe in it. It's a trait that I don't believe in. So now let me answer your question. Am I an actor? Yes, I am an actor. Is acting my career gig? That's the better question that you should ask. And the answer is no. Like I tell my Uncle Stan, my favorite Uncle Stan who lives in Florida. Love him to death. He just turned 90 in May of this year. Love him to death. He's my heart. Let me find out where my heart is. Debbie's shaking and saying, it's not there because you don't have one. That's not true, folks. But she's entitled to her opinion, just like I think the Saints stink. Okay, I got off topic for a second. Forget about it. Acting is not a career for me. I wish that it was. When I moved to Oklahoma, it kind of stalled. When I was on the East Coast, I had more acting gigs. But when you use the word career, excuse me, I personally look at it as that pays my bills. acting never paid my bills. It's a passion of mine. My father, God rest his soul, acted. He could have been a Joe Pesci, Danny DeVito before they ever came on the scene. He was larger than life. Alvin Frank Berkowitz. I have all of his acting shots. They're one of my things that I cherish most in my whole life. I have them framed in my house. But yes, I am an actor. My acting, again, not career, my acting gigs stalled for the most part when I came to Oklahoma. But something may come out of this. And maybe it'll be you in Hollywood sending me a script and say, hey, Mr. Forget About It, man, I like the way you answer. I like your honesty and your candor. We're going to fly you out to Hollywood and screen test you for, who knows, forget about it. There's your answer. Again, yes, I've done industrial videos. I did a film called Alone in the Wilderness. It's doing the film festival circuit. It was one of my favorite roles. I've done a lot of ID, worked on House of Cards, worked on Veep. Started out doing the extra stuff so I could learn sets. Anybody that tells you that it's not an experience, learning experience to be an extra, they're absolutely wrong, because Bruce Willis and other actors like that actually started out doing extra work. What I learned from doing that is the lay of the land, camera angles, setups, dealing with assistant directors and not so much producers, but ADs that we call them, assistant directors. Learned a lot. Don't really want to do any extra work anymore. Not that I think I'm better than any extras, but I don't really want to do extra work. You sit around a set for 10, 12 hours, and basically you call furniture. I'm looking for roles that have lines that I can show what I have. I can show my acting chops. There's your answer. I hope that was honest enough for you. Feel free to ask me any questions you want anytime. And if you are somebody in Hollywood in the know, or in the whatever they call it, and you want to fly me out there, I'm more than willing to come. Debbie shaking her head saying, yeah, we're willing to go. Isn't it funny how everybody's always willing to go? There's your answer, pal. Thank you, Bill R., for your question. Next question. Bad Brad, I cannot get enough of your New York accent, the pinky ring, and the forget about it shtick. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the forget about it shtick. Forget about it. Love the video email bags and your entire team of writers, I'll get it out, on Ringside Report. I see the work you put in with posting all of Ringside Report's articles and such, and the tons of boxing forums that we're both members of. Why does your site enjoy major success when I see many boxing sites going by the wayside, or ones that were on the top, they fall into the bottom as of late? Thanks for taking the time to answer my question. Jack H. from Newton Falls, Ohio. Now, I gotta say this before I even answer the question. Jack, first of all, thank you for your question. That touches my heart on two levels. The first one, my grandfather, God rest his soul, the Italian side of the family, forget about it, was from Newton Falls, Ohio. It's a small town, and I've never met anybody else. Let me fix my glasses because I feel like they're falling off my face. I've never met anybody else that was from Newton Falls, Ohio. So that touches my heart that you're from there. Maybe you know some of my relatives. I don't know. I don't know if they're still around there or not. But thanks for your question. Second part, thank you very much for recognizing how special RingsideReport.com is, the heart of boxing. Now, why do we have success when other sites don't? Well, I'm not here to call out names or put sites down. I'm only going to speak for Ringside Report. First of all, there's no I in we. We are a team. We succeed as a team, or we fail as a team. Yes, I'm the CEO, I'm the publisher, I keep it all together. But with no team, without the great writers, and Debbie doing the producing of my show and shooting, there's no Ringside Report, there's no content. Content is king. I feel the reason why we succeed over so many other sites, because I've worked for other sites, and I've ran other sites. And some of those sites that you mentioned, which I haven't called out by name, which you mentioned actually in your email question, I ran at one time. The problem was that the owners, because I wasn't the owner, I started RingsideReport.com in 2004. I encourage my writers to come up with storylines, to be creative, to think out the box. Thinking out of the box, and folks, I'm sure you can hear, we're not too far from Tulsa Airport, so if you hear the plane flying over, that's the plane that they're sending from Hollywood, because I got a screen test. Forget about it. I'm not doing any more questions. Just kidding. That's why we're successful. I encourage that type of atmosphere. We got guys that know the sport inside and out. They love the sport. They respect the fighters. And they bring that to their columns. I encourage them to bring their personality to their columns, and they do that. That's why we're successful. Content is king, don't get me wrong. And keep in mind, we don't just cover boxing. Yes, that's our baby, that's our bread and butter. But we cover MMA, and we cover wrestling, and we cover football, and we cover other little things here and there. And we do video email bags, and I do my interview show. That is why we're successful. And people can copy it, but here's the thing. You either have talent or you don't. And Jack, you can't fake talent. You can try to copy it, you can try to emulate it, which is basically the same thing, but either you have it or you don't. And our team, okay, if you want to say my team, fine, but I'd rather say our team has that talent. And that's why we're successful. And we don't rest on our laurels. We don't just say, hey, we had a good week in the numbers, we're going to stop there. No, we keep shooting. I never stop. I barely sleep because it's my heart and my soul. Don't get me wrong, this isn't a hobby, this is a business. But that's why we're successful. And thank you for your question. Last question. Mr. Berkwood. Okay, there it goes with the respect. Let's see if it sticks with it. Okay, I'm doing a high school project about the effects of fighters who suffer from pugilistic dementia, which it seems the numbers are growing year after year. What do you think could be done to prevent this? From a young lady. Wow. Tamara C. from North Miami, Florida. Well, Tamara, outstanding question. Thank you for sending it in. Interesting. Yet another place. It's great to see that places that I've lived in the United States, people are writing in from. I lived in North Miami. I went to North Miami Junior High. I lived there with my dad, and I went there we moved there in 1980 to 81. Now, you're touching my soul with a question like that, because it's true. The numbers are going up. Pugilistic dementia is real. It's not a fake disease. It's real. It's been diagnosed, and it's from punches. And what do fighters do to give us entertainment and to earn a living? Is take punches. What do I think can be done? Well, I don't have all the answers, and I don't claim to. I'm not a doctor. But what I think can be done is strict testing of fighters. And I know a lot of states do it. I know it's gotten a lot better. But even more stringent rules with medical testing, CAT scans, stuff like that. Also, commissions need to make the tough calls. And this is where I don't think any of them do it, honestly. And if they want to write into the show or they want to contact me, I'd be more than happy to discuss this with you. I feel that they let fighters fight on too long. Evander Holyfield, perfect example. Anybody that says that Evander is not slurring his words now is not telling you the truth. I'm not saying he's completely where you can't understand him, but he's slurring his words. Why do you think that is? Because he took a lot of punches. A lot of punches. Great fighter, great champion. Those punches, they add up. Anybody that says Muhammad Ali, they get Parkinson's from a big part of his boxing career, they're not telling you the truth. He did get Parkinson's from there. Okay, again, I'm not a doctor, so I don't have all the medical answers. But commissions need to make the hard decisions and tell fighters, we understand that this is your livelihood, but there comes a point when we have to pull your license and you can no longer fight. Now, it's gotten better. It has. Here goes another plane. Are they sending in from Hollywood? We've done all these shows and never had a plane fly over. I think that I'm getting ready to go to Hollywood. Forget about it. Wait for it. But I think it's getting worse. They need to tell them. And again, that's why I want a mandatory retirement fund. So when a fighter finds out, and this isn't like Rocky Balboa where they did that whole bit where he was so old and they did this and that. That was in Hollywood in the movies. Mandatory retirement fund comes into play when these guys can no longer fight because they're showing effects of the punches or whatever the case may be. And they retire, they got a fund to fall back on. They have a retirement fund. So that's the reason why I've been fighting for it. It's a very good question. Feel free to email me anytime you want with any more questions. I don't have all the answers. However, I think that talking about it is the least that we can do. And again, they need stricter commissions. All right, folks, that's another RSR video email bag in a can, as we always say. Forget about it. Send your questions in to Ringside Report 2014 at gmail.com. One more time. Ringside Report 2014 at gmail. I'll get it out. gmail.com. And as Frank Sinatra sang so eloquently so long ago, The best is yet to come. I want to sing it, and Debbie says you better not. And on that note, Bad Brad out.